to take one way to the Salatul Eid and come home another way, following the best guide. May Allah's peace and blessings be upon him. That he would go to Salatul Eid following one particular way and route, and coming back another route. And there's no doubt that the Prophet ﷺ did so with particular aims and objectives in mind. So scholars mention that some of the wisdoms are that the Prophet ﷺ would actually give sadaqah to different people on the various routes, that he would go on one route and give people charity, and then coming back at various different direction, he would give other people charity. Another is that he would ask about people. They also mention and that there are various benefits and rewards in following the steps, being on a particular route and coming back on a different route. So when a person goes on different routes, each of those various routes will testify on his behalf on the day of resurrection. Also visiting various relatives that are in different parts of town. So going on one particular route to pray Salatul Eid, and then coming back from a different route to visit others. And that no one knows all the fullness of his objectives and aims and the wisdoms of his Sunnah entirely, but that people attain from his various degrees from following him. And what a most excellent exemplar we have. And when the Prophet ﷺ went on a particular route and a particular road, people would know that he had passed by due to the fragrance of his scent that filled that area. And they would know which way he went, and they would smell his fragrant scent. And if he went a different direction, they would know that he went on that direction because the other path didn't have his fragrant scent. And the Prophet ﷺ would sometimes put his blessed hand on the heads of the children that he would come across. So those children would be distinguished from the others because they could smell the fragrant scent on their hair from the Prophet ﷺ touching them. Whereas the ones that he didn't touch didn't have that same scent. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make our inward and outward states fragrant with him. And that in Jerusalem, they would pray in Bayt al-Maqdis for Salatul Eid. And that those who were weak and feeble could pray in the masjid, and then other people would be taken outside to another area to pray Salatul Eid. The Prophet ﷺ commanded some of his companions to lead people in prayer at the masjid, and then he would take people who were able to another place outside of the city to pray. And there was a place where they would often pray Salatul Eid, and they call it Masjid al-Ghamama, outside of Medina. Then when Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq became the Khalifa, he would then pray in a place. So then Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, he decided to pray a little bit behind the area where the Prophet ﷺ would pray Salatul Eid, and they built a masjid there as well. And the Prophet ﷺ, then Sayyidina Umar ibn al-Khattab, he did the same thing with regards to Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, and he prayed Salatul Eid in a place that was a little bit behind the area where Sayyidina Abu Bakr would pray. and they built a masjid there, and they named it the Masjid of Umar ibn al-Khattab. The fifth sunnah is that people are mindful of the time of Salatul Eid. So the time of Salatul Eid is that it would be after the sunrise, and this is Salatul Eid al-Adha. That a person also sacrifices the animal. It can be on the 10th of Dhul Hijjah, the 11th and 12th. By consensus, there's a difference of opinion if one can sacrifice the animal on the 13th of Dhul Hijjah. The Prophet ﷺ said, we begin our day of Eid with a prayer, then we sacrifice. Whoever sacrifices before they pray, then that's just meat that they give to their family, but it's not considered the sacrificial rite of worship on Eid al-Adha. So a man said that I wanted to sacrifice an animal before I come to the salah. The Prophet ﷺ said, that's food that you've given for your family. And another man said that I wanted to sacrifice an animal that was actually younger than the age that is counted for the nahar, the udhiyah, the sacrifice of Eid al-Adha. And the Prophet ﷺ, he said, Allah will accept it from you, but He will not accept it from anyone else after you. And this is how the Prophet ﷺ was given the permission to make exceptions for certain people. That's the rank that he has with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it is also recommended to pray Salat Eid al-Adha, the prayer, earlier in the day so that people have time to sacrifice the animals. And then also it's a sunnah, it's recommended to delay the prayer of Eid al-Fitr so that people can give Zakatul Fitr before they pray the Eid prayer for Eid al-Fitr. The Prophet ﷺ wrote, he had a letter written to Amr ibn Hazm in Najran. He said, hasten to pray the Eid prayer of Adha earlier and delay Eid al-Fitr's prayer. That the Prophet ﷺ, he sent this letter to Amr ibn Hazm stating that. And he made him the person who was in authority in Najran. And to give people a sermon that reminds them as well to pray Salat Eid al-Adha earlier in the earlier time and to delay Eid al-Fitr's prayer at the later time. And the sixth sunnah is that people go out glorifying Allah along the way, saying Allahu Akbar. And that there's no adhan, but that a caller calls and says the prayer, we have gathered for the prayer. And the Imam prays 2 rak'ahs, leading the congregation. And then the first 7 takbirat and the recitation of Surah Qaf. And 5 takbirat, Allahu Akbar, is in the second rak'ah. And whoever misses Salatul Eid, he can pray it as a make-up prayer all the way up until the time of Dhuhr. That it is a sunnah for men and women and young and old and individuals and in congregation to pray Salatul Eid. And according to some scholars, that if they miss it with the Imam, they have missed the prayer. But in the Shafi'i school, that it continues to be a person is able to pray all the way up until the time of Zawal. And then if it passes at that point, then he can make it up as a qada, as a make-up prayer. Salat Eid al-Fitr or Eid al-Adha. And the prayer that is designated for the two Eids, just like the Zakat al-Fitr, and is specific to Eid al-Fitr, and the sacrifice is specific to Eid al-Adha. And the Sahaba, they said every day in which we don't disobey Allah is considered Eid. The Prophet ﷺ said, he asked the Jews, why do you fast this day of Ashura? He said, this is the day that Allah saved Musa, and he had the Pharaoh drowned. Prophet ﷺ said, I have more right to Moses than you. And he considered it Eid. And Sayyidina Isa ibn Maryam, he said, oh Allah, bring down upon us a table spread from the heavens, that it will be a Eid, it will be a celebration for us and for those who come after us. And in these lands such as this, there's people who would consider the Eid of Ashura. They would have the Eid of the Mawlid of the Prophet, and they would have the Eid of the first day of Rajab. They would have the Eid of the Mi'raj. They would have Eid of Sha'baniyah, the 15th of Sha'ban. That these are the symbols and the rites of the religion that they would gather for and celebrate and commemorate. They didn't know the Eid of a tree. These various other holidays that people, that people have become enamored with and busy with. That a person kills another man and takes the throne and says, today is Eid, making it an anniversary. What kind of Eid is this? And whoever doesn't know the worth of the truth, that person will then revere that which is false. Whoever doesn't balance his days through the measure of righteousness, it will then be affected by corruption. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to establish the measure as the way that in a way that He is pleased with, and do not be imbalanced in the balance. May Allah fill us with Iman and enter us into the spheres of people of excellence, and make every day of ours Eid, that we receive an increase from Him, and that we ascend in the degrees of the reality of Tawheed, and that the all praiseworthy who does whatever He wills gives us great support and gifts. O Allah, rectify the affairs of the ummah of your Prophet Muhammad, and give relief to the ummah of your Prophet Muhammad. O Allah, lift the calamities from the ummah of your Prophet Muhammad, and rectify our affairs in Yemen and in Sham and the East and the West and the Muslims wherever they may, and all of the lands of the Muslims, and rectify the servants and their lands, and deflect all evil and corruption. Oh, most powerful, most generous, be generous in a way befitting of you in this life and in the barzakh and on the day of resurrection and in the abode of honor, where we are with the Prophet and the people of nobility. بسر الفاتحة وإلى حضرة النبي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. الفاتحة. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.